Hi folks, Mr. Long here, and I'm doing a screencast on our solving of piggy bank equations. This is something we do frequently early on in the course, so you get a real life context for working with piggy bank balances and equations. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to look at number 1, okay, and you're going to complete this sheet later on. Number 1, here's our equation, b equals 13 plus 4n. n in this case would represent or might represent the number of weeks that you're either saving money or you're spending money. But in this case, we have b equals 13 plus 4n. The 13 is a constant, right? And then there's the 4n there. So it's 4 multiplied by n. N might be number of weeks. And there's a plus sign in the middle, which I think indicates that it's growing. I could write that, I'll write it here. I could also write it as b equals 4n plus 13. That would be the same thing, right? Because 1 plus 2 is the same as 2 plus 1. But both of them really mean start at $13 and go up by $4 per week. Now it says if b is 117, what's n? So what we want to do is we want to replace b with 117. So we end up with 117 equals 13 plus 4n. So now what I want to do is get that balanced. It looks like 117 is b plus 4n, but that, I'll just circle that. That's 13, and that's 4n. So we want to isolate for 4n. Well, remember we can read in either direction. There's a plus sign, and then it says 13. So we're adding 13 there, right? And the 13 is a positive. So the way I undo that is to subtract 13. But I can only do that if I balance it, right? Because the only thing equal to negative 13 is negative 13. So that gets rid of that 13. I still have 4 n's left over. And then 117 minus 13 is 104. So 104 is 4n. Divide by 4. Divide by 4. That's the inverse of multiplying n by 4. And we end up with n equals, 4 goes into 104, well 4 goes into 125 times, so it's 26, shall we say, weeks until you have that $104 if you save, till you have that $117 if you save $4 a week and you started at 13. So that's an example where the money is starting at 13 and growing. And let's look at a case where the money is starting, so number 5 here. Let's look at and I put number 3, it should be number 5. So here's our case. We started our money at 100, and we're going down by, that would be my son talking to me, sorry folks. So I'm starting at 100 and I'm decreasing by $4 a week. All right, so I'm at this equation here. I start at 100 and I decrease by $4 a week. Well, what is that? Oh, and I want to get it when it gets to $52. So in this case, I've got to replace b with 52. So 100 minus 4n. And now I've got, we have a negative coefficient in front of n. So the coefficient is a number that multiplies into n. That's a negative number. We don't like to have negatives in front of our variables, okay, so that multiply into our variables. So what we can do is multiply everything by negative 1, and I'll just do that and change color, so that becomes negative 52, that becomes negative 100, and that becomes 4n. So now I have to add 100. Okay, so I've got to get 4n by itself, isolate 4n, so I plus 100 on this side, I plus 100 on this side, and that makes that gone. And the reason I have to plus 100 because it's the opposite of negative 100. So I have 4n equals negative 52 plus 100 is $48. And now divide by 4 because that says 4n. The opposite of multiplying is dividing. 48 divided by 4 and n equals 12 weeks. Okay, so in 12 weeks you will decrease from $100 to $52. Okay, and that's how you solve piggy bank balance equations. Oh, so now what you should do, folks, is do the handout. Okay, that's going to be in the in the course Google Doc, you're going to see right beside this video is the actual handout. So if you don't have it, print it out and work through all those questions. Don't worry about the questions where it says one bank balance is equal to another bank balance. What I want you to do is to solve all of these equations individually first and get a good handle on that before you move on. Okay, and remember to watch over the video again. Definitely watch over the entire video again if you need to. Pause it, stop it, go over the questions and make sure you can do those first. Thanks for listening.